Update. I, 36F, found out that my husband, 38M, has a Camilla, 42F. Original post. Thank you to everyone who responded to my previous post. A lot has gone down since I posted. And not much of it has been good, to be honest. I'm starting to wish that I'd let well enough alone. But I guess I'm stuck now. So I sat down with my husband and told him that this whole Val thing was really bothering me. That I'd never heard her name before for someone he held in such high regard. He explained that she had cheated on him and had married the guy she cheated with. They stopped speaking for a while, but they started being cordial again as she was having problems in her marriage and through her divorce. He swears on his life that there's only friendship there, that he can't ever forgive her, and that he has no interest in her romantically anymore. We share location history on our phones, and have cameras on our house. So I know he's not lying about seeing her. My husband was my first in a lot of ways. Everything except my first kiss. So I tend to be a bit more jealous than others. My husband has more of a past, and it makes me very uncomfortable, even though I know it's a reality that I have to accept. I'm also diagnosed as on the autism spectrum. So I tend to be socially awkward and miss certain cues, which caused me not to really have close relationships up until him. I was over at my parents' house telling my mother about Val. She kept telling me not to worry, that everyone has a past, and that he obviously chose me. Little background. My father is a girl dad. I'm the third of 4 girls. He's been my protector my whole life, and he will go after anyone that hurts me. Dad overheard Mom and me, and came into the kitchen. Are you serious right now? He's talking to Val again? I'm going to him. Quote. I asked my father how he knew about Val. I looked at my mother and she was looking at him with a horrified look. He said he overheard us, and it's not right for him to talk to other women. They tried to talk around it, but I demanded an answer and they finally relented. My mother admitted that they had arranged my marriage. We'd been seeing each other for a month and I met his parents. Shortly after, his mother called mine, explained about Val, how they were afraid he would go back to her, and how they wanted to do everything they could to make sure that their son married the right girl. I asked my mother why she agreed, and she admitted that they were afraid I was gay and that I wouldn't ever have children. She said that's why my husband was immediately invited to every holiday. That's why he was introduced to multiple relatives in a very short time. That's why they referred to him as family before he proposed. They were trying to set the tone in my mind. My head was spinning. I told them I had to go and I couldn't talk to them anymore. I drove home and felt like I couldn't breathe. I walked into our house and told my husband everything. He laughed. He actually laughed. He told me that he'd figured it out a while ago and thought I had too. He told me that his parents paid for me to go on vacation with them. They made a point of getting everyone in the family to share how much they liked me. They gave him extra gift certificates to take me out to dinner and other events. His mother cleaned his apartment and did all of his laundry while he was at work, so his nights and weekends were free for me. When he said he was going to save the money for a ring, they gave it to him. And they kept telling him what a good match I was for him. He asked his parents while we were engaged if it had been the plan to keep him away from Val. And his mother admitted that it had been. He told me that he fell in love with me while we were together. What he feels for me is real, and that he loves the life we have together. He said it doesn't matter how it started because what we have is strong and real. I don't know how I feel. I can't even talk to anyone because I'm apparently the only person who didn't know this happened. I feel like such an idiot. I am furious with his parents for doing this, furious with mine for going along with it, and hurt that he didn't tell me the truth once he figured it out. I do not know if I want a divorce. My husband has been trying very hard to be supportive of me. I've told him I don't feel like talking. He keeps asking me if he can get me anything and asking me little questions to try to get me to talk. But I can't even get my feelings straight right now. I feel betrayed by every person who is supposed to care about me, and I have no idea what the hell to do now. TL. Dr. Husband is not having an affair. I am in an arranged marriage and I am the only one who didn't realize it. Our parents suck. Wow. Just wow. This is some Truman Show level betrayal. I'm sorry, friend. If I could, I would give you the biggest hug. Has he cut Val and her son off since everything came out? Wow. This is a lot for you to take in. It's okay to feel lost and hurt and angry. Do you have a therapist you can talk to about this? It's kinda beyond Reddit's pay grade. I would take some time to yourself to take stock of your relationships with him, your parents, and his parents. It sounds like you in general have a good relationship. And it sounds like he wants you to be happy and is being open with you. So keep talking to him about it. But the curveball with Val is a big deal and you deserve to feel secure about that. I would feel betrayed by both sets of parents. Phew. Sorry, op. This is really hard for you. Take your time and talk to a pro. Yeesh. So sorry that you're in this position. My advice, if at all possible, is to get away from your husband and everyone else for a while. Like a few days? And just be alone and let your brain cool down until you can really sit and think about what you want to do. Get some space from all of this. Wow. I remember your first post. And this is not at all where I thought this situation would end up. This is a massive betrayal by your family, your parents, his parents, and your husband. Your husband has known at least pieces of the story since you got engaged that he didn't come to you with this information well before now is awful. To say nothing of both sets of parents. This genuinely is a Diana-Camilla situation in more ways than I was expecting. And I cannot imagine how betrayed you must feel now. Sure, no one held a gun to your head, but you were never given a realistic option to say no or think about how you really feel. And all because of some other woman and your in-laws' expectations. If you can, maybe take a week and go somewhere else by yourself. Getting some physical distance might help you find some clarity. You don't have to make any long-term decisions right now. Just get through each day, one at a time, and go from there. In your shoes, I'd probably cut off contact with all sets of parents. At least for a while. But I understand that's often easier said than done. I'm so sorry this happened. This sounds like a horror, thriller movie, TBH. Also, why is he so prone to have a relationship with Camilla's child? Is it his? They tried to keep him away from Val and she's still in his life. Deceit never works out. This was a setup, not an arranged marriage. This is a lot to deal with. Sorry you are having to deal with this fallout. I'm not from a culture where arranged marriages are a norm. So please forgive my ignorance on any protocols. 1. I blame your parents. Most of all, knowing this man's history and still trying to make you marry him because they thought you were gay? Even if you were gay, wouldn't that be all the more reason not to arrange a marriage? 2. Is there an out clause of acceptable reasons for divorce or annulment in your culture? Would your family support you if you decided to do this? If not, are you able to be financially self-sufficient? I would be more upset with my parents. I mean, you two do love each other, so that's great. But your parents should have communicated this stuff. I don't know that this is an arranged marriage, but rather a relationship that was secretly supported, bordering on manipulation. Not all manipulation is meant to be ill-intended. They supported the union because both sets of parents like each of you individually and as a couple. It may still feel very much like your husband settled for you, and his decision to not contact with his ex and her child for you may feel like it supports that assertion. However, do you believe that you two both truly love each other? Do you believe in what you have now and what you wanted for your future? I think you absolutely need space from everyone for a while to sort out your feelings for yourself. And absolutely you should have the freedom to unload your emotions onto everyone who manipulated and lied to you. You are allowed to be angry, confused and hurt by it all. But at the end of the day, are you still happy with your husband? Can you become stronger together after this? Hugs, love this island hard for sure. So, I feel the need to comment, because you seem to be spiraling on the fact your families wanted you two to get together. First off, this isn't an arranged marriage. Your husband and you were not married off by your parents. You didn't go into the relationship with the intent to be married right off the bat. You were introduced by your parents and given an easy path to solidifying your bond as a family. He still made the decision to propose to you. He still made the decision to be with you and not just a decision to get married. This was a hope by your parents and it worked. So stop thinking of this as an arranged marriage. You knew your parents wanted you to make it work with him, right? You knew his parents were very supportive of you dating and wanted you to be a part of their family, right? I don't think this counts as arranged marriage. But it was extremely manipulative of them to do this. It's certainly not your husband's fault. Take some time away and cool your head. You need to get your priorities straight. Also join therapy. Other than that, I still don't think a 9-year-old is liking his photos. Does the boy like everyone's photos then? It may not have a deeper meaning then. Else his mother might be the one liking them from his account, and that is indeed an issue. It would be in your rights to ask your husband to cut her off. Though I still think he should cut her off if it's making you that uncomfortable. Too many of you are overlooking the fact he called his wife, Diana, and his ex, Camilla. Pop quiz. Which of those PPL is the man in this analogy married to at this very moment? It is a very specific dynamic he is referencing. And I think it shows a Freudian slip at best and a tacit admission he doesn't love his wife like he claims at worst. You were manipulated by your matchmaking families. If it was your friends and his doing their best to get you both out of some terrible habits, maybe pining for past relationships, or working too hard and not being social enough, would you divorce your husband over that? No way. Excuse me while I pick my jaw up off the floor. WTF? Your dad, who is a dad girl, went along with your mom's insanity. Who cares if you were or are a lesbian? Lesbians can and do have children. What they did was beyond wrong. I don't think I could ever forgive them. As far as your husband, get yourself into therapy and go from there. You have a lot to think about. You were manipulated, lied to, and you fell for it. You definitely need to work through your feelings and what your actual feelings are without being manipulated. Do you personally actually love your husband? That may not be a question you can answer right now. Your Charles is behaving better than the real Charles. Diana chose to divorce because that was what was best for her. Do what is best for you. Knowing you will always be someone's second choice is just sad. Time for therapy. Not because it will fix you, but you need a neutral third party that you can talk about this. You need to say these words out loud, repeatedly. You have to hear what is coming out of your mouth so you can fully process the information you have received. If I were you, I would find a therapist for myself and leave for a solo vacation.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.